I just got a call from a prince in Nigeria. He's coming for these dynasty assets. These players are guys that are going to have terrible 2026 seasons, and they're just going to lose way too much value compared to what they're currently worth. These guys are scrubs. Call it what you want. We're going to be going all the way from the bottom of the rankings today, all the way up to the top. So we're going to get to the good players, but these guys are still overvalued. The crown prince of Saudi Arabia, the Nigerian princes, they're going to be coming, different continents, oops. They're going to be coming for these guys' value in 2026, and you want to get ahead of the 8 ball. That's my billiard shot. Rate the form, look pretty good to me, but you want to make sure you sell these guys, you trade these guys, you send it to Jake, you send it to Johnny, send it to the guys in your league, get them off the team while they're still ranked this high. I'm looking at you, Mr. Jaden Daniels. We'll get to you just shortly. Don't you worry. We're going to start on the back half because usually we're looking at the back half. We're looking, ooh, Kyle Pitts. I like the way you're looking at me. Scam Laporta. Don't give me that eye. All right, so we're looking at the good players down here. What about the scrubs? Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin is 30 years old. The cliff has arrived. 12 points per game in 23, 12 points per game in 25 with injury concerns. You have McLaurin, old and injured. You have Daniels, injured. I don't like this combination. It's given the same Stafford Devontae Adams vibe, where Stafford's an ancient artifact, injured. Devontae Adams is an ancient artifact, injured. And I don't like having to rely on both those players to be on the field and both be producing good. I don't like that with the Rams situation. Now, Daniels is younger. You're not really relying much on the health stuff there. And McLaurin, it's really the first time we've seen him be banged up in a while. And what do they have to play for? Not much. But McLaurin is an asset I'd be looking to pivot from while you still can. When people are 30 years old, they see that 3 in front of the number and they lose trade value. So it's time to go Scary Terry while he's still around. The guy's giving us the nice little side eye. I like Jaden Higgins. I like Gatson. I like Laporta. I like Pitts. I like Tyler Shuck a lot. So McLaurin gotta go. Ricky Pearsall, let's put him in this video. Ricky Pearsall could be undervalued at his current price. I think Ricky Pearsall is talented. We just haven't seen it click. Rookie year, bam, shot. Unlucky. Really, a tough luck. You hate to see it for the guy. And you scratch the rookie year up to bad luck. And then 2025, he's still getting injured on the field this time. And that's what's scary. I think that there are major health concerns here for Pearsall, but I do think we've seen some flashes of upside. Like, I do think Ricky Pearsall could be a good wide receiver 3. I think his ceiling is even like a good wide receiver 2. He's not that old either, 25. And if you really discount this rookie year, everyone always says year 2 wide receivers will break out. He had 11 games rookie year, but he was shot. Let's say that 25 was his rookie year, 9.8 points per game. I think we could see him get up there to 12, 13 when healthy. So he could definitely return value. I don't know if he could lose value quick too. But I think Pearsall, I do like trading him for the names he's around because you can get Tyler Shuck or these tight ends. I'd rather have them than him currently. Michael Pittman Jr., 28 years old. Same story. Pittman, does he stay with Indianapolis? He's a big salary cap hit this year, and he hasn't been too effective the past 2 seasons. He had a great stretch from 21 to 23 of efficiency. You can see his yards per game were up there around 70 yards per game. Past 2 years, he's been at 50. The Indiana Jones situation scares me because he was solid. Like when Indiana Jones was in, don't get it wrong, Pittman was actually up there at 15, 16 points per game, which is good because when Indiana Jones is back, I think Pittman stays in Indy. Deja vu, run it back. But you have to factor in, he's 28 years old. He has a bad injury history. Pittman does. Daniel Jones, that injury he sustained usually takes 2 years to get back to full strength. And he wasn't really a good passer to begin with. So I'm just going ahead and punting him. I like Indiana Jones. I'm holding on to him at current price. Metcalf, 28, probably not a terrible hold if you're a contending team. If you're a rebuild team, kick them to the curb. Go get the guys that are younger that I like in this range of players. Devontae and Derrick Henry. Let's start with Derrick Henry, man. Listen, he's not immortal. He's not immortal. He's 33. For the love of... No. I want to be ahead of the 8 ball. You might be saying to yourself, look at the points per game. The points per game, it's looking at you very finely. And then I show you something else. You know who else had a pretty solid points per game? Alvin Kamara. Look at Alvin Kamara's points per game from his whole career. Immaculate numbers. Everything's just looking juicy. 2025, what? Half the point, 9 points per game? And now he's a scrub. Now he's a scrub. He's 2 years younger than Henry, and nobody remembers him. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen this year for Derrick Henry, but I'm saying let's get rid of him before he falls off the cliff, because once you fall off the cliff is not climbable. Kamara, he's done. And I hate to say it because I have him on my team. I actually had offers, 2 second-round picks for Kamara before the last season. Declined. Now I can't even sell him for a bag of Doritos. Derrick Henry, time to move on while you still can. Davante Adams, same story. We mentioned him and Stafford. I'll tell you this. I'm not really worried about a decline in production from Adams. I just think he's different. I think especially in the red zone, I think he will be able to sustain this massive touchdown rate if him and Stafford are healthy. So it's not saying he's not going to produce. Contending teams, maybe you even buy him. I just think he's way too high on these ranks, bro. Like, if you can trade Davante, who's going to be... He could retire at any instant for anything of value. Yes, do it now. Jordan Addison. The quick Spark Notes version of this. J.J. McCarthy stinks. J.J. McCarthy, he could be out after 1 year in Minnesota. Now, who do the Vikings get in 2027? Good, strong quarterback class. Arch Manning. Jordan Addison, only 24. Okay, now let's just link in Justin Jefferson. I think Justin Jefferson is poised for a terrible, he's the number 1 name in this video, poised for a terrible 2026. Why? He had 12 points per game in 2025, and sure, McCarthy was hurt for a lot of it. It doesn't matter. He wasn't good with McCarthy either. You're going to have another year of McCarthy. Maybe they get more time in practice. Maybe they get better during the game, but the touchdown rate, it was low, and I don't see it improving. The yards per game, it was low. Is that going to improve much? His targets were still the same, guys. He just wasn't getting the same quality of target, same average yards per target, right? So I'm scared a lot for Jefferson in 2026. Not worried about the talent. I'm worried about the QB play. With that said, with Jefferson, he's 27. Again, the Vikings, 1 year, all right, bam. Jefferson averages 14 points per game next year, trash. But he's going to get a good quarterback again in 2027, potentially, is what I think is going to happen. And then he's going to be 28. So you're starting to lose the prime, because Jefferson's in his prime now. He'll be at 28. He'll be with a new quarterback. He'll have to learn with that new quarterback, develop with a new QB. I don't really like having that when you're 28 years old. Whereas with Addison, he'll be 25 when that's going on. You get what I'm saying here? Like, there's no guarantees he even stays in Minnesota, I guess you could say. But I do think that Addison he's not poised. He's poised for an awful 2026. So I think that there's going to be a good buy opportunity for Addison in the future here. Keep that in mind because of the age. I think he's going to have a bad production year, but he could be a good buy in the future. And who do you want to go get for him now? Mr. Shuck. Yes, please. Michael Wilson. He's not in this video. I think Michael Wilson can produce if they get him the right quarterback. Kyler Murray. The dream is dead. It's dead. He's going to be a New York Jet. And as a New York Jet, that is where dreams go to die. Now, rushing upside is there. I actually do think Kyler Murray could be a good buy. I'm not going to lie. Now, am I sending the price? 111, 112? No, probably not. If I'm a quarterback needy team, I actually don't think that's a terrible price, just of how bad this year's draft class is. But if you can send any second round pick for Kyler Murray, it's a trade I'm willing to do, even though he is in this video. I don't think he's going to produce, but it's worth the risk, just rushing upside alone. Bryce Young is going to be a scrub, and that's just a given. Like, and nobody, who is saying that he's not going to be a scrub? Because they're lying to you. 3 straight seasons. Scrub, scrub, scrub. Rushing upside. Scrub, scrub, scrub. Passing. It took a step forward in 25. Rookie of the year, T-Mac. Maybe this Panthers offense takes another step forward. Another year of T-Mac. Okay. But what? Okay. Oh, Bryce Young's at 16 points per game this year. Hooray. It's trash. You're trash, and there's treasure ranked lower. Tyler Shuck. Yes, please, Bryce Young's got to go. I like Tucker Kraft, but with Tucker Kraft, first off, he's too underranked. He's a good buy, but don't have high expectations, right? He actually was overvalued in 25. His game log, his points per game is very high. Oh, he was so good as a tight end. Listen, the touchdown rate was way too high. Touchdown regression is imminent. He's not involved. This Packers offense is awful at spreading the ball out. They do it way too much. Tucker Kraft's the best player by far, and they give him 4 targets a game. He's very efficient with those targets. He's a good real-life player. It's not conducive how they play in real life for fantasy purposes. So don't be surprised if with the injury and with how annoying the Packers offense is, if we see him lag in production to start the year off. I'm fine with ETN. I'm fine with Javonte. I'm fine with Harvey. I like Harvey a lot. I'm fine with Scam Darnold. Oh no, chat. Now that Sam Darnold has won the Super Bowl, do I revoke my privileges of calling him Scam Darnold? We all know I like throwing in the C. We got, who we got? We got, I can't think of any. We got Scam Scatabo with the injury. We got Scam Ward, because they're both bums. There's too many guys. Rest in peace to a legend, Scam Darnold. Super Bowl, not MVP. Maybe we still keep it. CJ Stroud, I think he is what he is, and I think he's actually a bit underranked. I'm going to leave him where he is. Jalen Waddle, no quarterback, but I think we're going to leave him where he is. This guy can't stay healthy, though. Keep that in mind. Scam Ward. Emphasis on the scam. I am not afraid to call this guy a scam artist. Nobody buy him. Everybody's saying that Cam Ward is going to be elite. Just because he's the first overall pick in the draft, guys. I mean, he can't play worse. I'll give you that. But the rushing upside is non-existent, meaning his ceiling is capped. We saw him put together 15, 18, 17. His best point per game was 24 because he had a rushing touchdown. It's not going to happen. The ceiling is just way too low. I really encourage you to move on from Cam Ward. He could be serviceable from a real life perspective. I just don't see the fantasy ceiling. You could say, oh, Drake May, like Scam Ward just had 11 points per game. Drake May also had 13 points per game rookie year, and then he went to 22. But the thing is, Drake May had something you can't teach. He had rushing upside in his rookie year. That doesn't really go away. It's sticky. He was trash passer, and they turned into an immaculate passer. That can happen. But Scam Ward did not show any rushing upside at all. We know that's not who he is, so I get rid of him. Devontae Smith, I just think that this guy is a consistent, decent option, but consistency is only as good as your offense. How volatile is the Eagles' passing attack? Pretty volatile. I do think we see him back up to 13, 14 points per game, especially with the A.J. Brown potential departure. With that said, it's not balanced. Like, you'll have spikes. 1 week will be 20, 1 week will be 10. I'd rather just go get someone that averages 15 every single week. Cam Scatabo, I like. Oh, I said Jefferson's the number 1 guy that has to go. Travis Hunter, you're gone. Travis Hunter will have a bad season in 2026 from a fantasy perspective. He's going to be out there as a defensive back as well as receiver, so his snap rate will automatically be capped. He honestly wasn't terrible in 25 as a rookie. Wasn't really good though. Like when he was healthy, he had 100-yard receiving game. It's not bad. He had a touchdown, so it's like solid. It's crowded. Brian Thomas Jr. bounce back incoming. Parker the Pest. He had a solid season as well. Jacoby Myers is there for the next year or two. He's 30. Let's not say this guy's gonna be there forever, like everyone's saying. I just think it's a crowded room, man, with Strange there as well. ETN, the receiving back. So goodbye, Mr. Hunter. Now you probably paid a 101 for this guy or a 102, 103. You lost value. You shot. You missed. So it sucks. But there's good names around. I'd rather have Chase Brown. I'm not even lying. Let's look at Kenneth Walker. I'm fine with it. AJ Clown. If you're a contender, you can hold on to AJ Clown and hope he departs to a new team. Does he depart to a new team? I'm not sure. Josh Jacobs, goodbye. Gone. Get rid of Jacobs while you can. Go get Chase Brown in a 1-for-1 trade. Josh Jacobs, 16 points per game. He's not near that Alvin Kamara cliff. That's not going to happen to him. It is. It already has. His touchdown rate was very high, which saved his season. If his touchdown rate was back to where it was 3 years prior with the Raiders of 0.6, he would have been at 13 points per game, and the panic button would be going off people's heads. Get rid of Jacobs while you can. He's in a great range of players to trade for. If you can get Fannin, if you can get not only J-Mo, if you can get Burden, Chase Brown, if you can even get some of these guys lower, like I'd rather have Javonte, to be honest, straight up. So Josh Jacobs is a must trade for my liking. Let's start scrolling, because I like some of these names right here. Even McCaffrey, you should trade McCaffrey at current price. Get rid of him. But this video is more about production. He could produce when healthy, right? So we can't really talk about him too much. Zay Flowers had a good year, guys. Zay Flowers had a good year, and it's time to capitalize on the value. I do believe in Zay Flowers, though. I think Zay Flowers can be a 15-point per game player. I just don't like betting on that Ravens offense and the low touchdown rate. There's guys out there that, like, I don't like somebody that's never going to score touchdowns. That's not who he is. It's not his game. He'll be a good real receiver. He'll be at probably 70 receiving yards a game, 7 targets. I liked his growth in 25. I just think there's better names out there. I'd rather have BTJ. It's not even close for my liking. Jordan Love, and it's just not conducive for fantasy, but we're going to leave him off. We'll leave him off. T. Higgins, injury concerns, but he's good when he's there, so I'm going to leave him off. And let's start scrolling. Odunze, 24 years old. Everyone was hyping up the year 2 breakout. This guy broke fantasy managers' hearts in his rookie year, and then followed it up with another stinker, to be completely honest with you. Terrible season, injured as well. He's too high in the ranks, guys. I do think it's time to punt on Odunze. Now, keep in mind, he could be a buy low. We call Ibuka a buy low and sell high because the rankings have them higher than they should be, but the actual owner of these guys in your league probably has them lower in their personal rankings because of how bad they've been. Ibuka, sure, he had a decent average and he started the year off hot, but he probably lost your league manager the league because he did nothing for the last 12 weeks. Same thing here with Odunze. Your manager's probably fed up with him, so you can probably buy him for lower than this in the rankings. And I actually don't mind that, given the age and given Caleb Williams' improvements. Ibuka, if Evans and Godwin are both there, could be a fall off that's sustained for a little bit longer, but I actually like him as a buy low, just not at this price. I think he's overranked here, but underranked with your league manager. Let's keep scrolling. I like some of these names, man. Trevor Lawrence, I think he's going to be good from a real life perspective, but I think we see some rushing touchdown regression potentially. I think we see him sustain the good passing stats. I don't see why he wouldn't, but I think we see rushing touchdown regression, bringing him back down to about 18 points per game. So I think that happens to him in 26. Tet McMillan. Tet McMillan, he's a good asset to hold and a good asset to own, but he's a good person to sell and trade because I think his ceiling is capped. His ceiling is capped by Bryce Young, who we already had as going to be a terrible producer because Bryce Young is Bryce Young. 5th-year option. Bryce Young, they could get rid of him and go into that good, strong 2026, 2027 quarterback draft class. Sure, and then I'm all in on T-Mac at that point. I just think he's going to have a bad 2026, capped by Bryce Young as quarterback. I think the ceiling is really 15 points per game for T-Mac, and that's just too high of a ranking. I'd rather have Pickens, where Pickens, 18 points per game is in the range of outcomes, especially if he stays with Dallas, and you can add something on top based on where he's currently ranked. Trey McBride, you got to talk about it. Michael Wilson had the breakout. He's going to want targets. MHJ, he wants targets. McBride, he wants targets. And you have Elmo throwing him the football, right? Because are they going to rely on Brissett again? Where Brissett, he can spread that rock, man. He's good pocket passer. But they were not winning games. So what do you do? I don't know, but I'd rather have Bowers and Trey McBride straight up because of the age. And honestly, I like Bowers' situation a bit more as well. Pat Mahomes. I actually like holding on to him. He's so value insulated, it's not even funny. But the injury, guys, I do think Mahomes misses the start of the season. People are not really talking about that as much as they should be. I'd rather have Jackson Dart and something juicy than Mahomes. Call me crazy, call me a psycho, call it what you will. We already touched on Jefferson. He's my #1 name in this video. Must move. This guy's going to have a bad season as well. CeeDee Lamb. If Pickens is there, I think that we're not going to see 20 points per game. I think we'll see 17. So is that a bad year? No. But is it 20? No, it's not. So I think CeeDee Lamb, if Pickens stays, he will be capped. He will be capped, especially because the touchdown rate in the red zone will be reduced. Jaden Daniels, truly volatile, guys. I don't know what way the pendulum's going to swing. Jaden Daniels will either be a top 3, top 4 dynasty asset, or he'll be 20th. If he has another bad year, the pendulum will swing this way. If he has a good year, then he'll be top 4. It's truly dependent on what his rushing upside looks like, and if he gets back to being as good of a passer. The Commanders look really bad, and he was really banged up. So if he gets banged up again, then he'll be labeled as injury prone. That's hard to remove that label. Drake May is the last name. I think that he was very, very good as a passer in 25 with minimal assets. You could argue that they build around him now and they start getting in better receivers, which, yeah, I think they should. They're obviously going to try that. I just think we could see some passing touchdown regression. We could see some passing yard per game regression. They just had the easiest schedule in the league. What's their schedule next year going to look like? Maybe harder defenses. I think we see him back down to around 19 points per game. I just don't think he's the same level of a rusher as Josh Allen. I am selling Drake May while he's the number 1 and number 2 dynasty asset right now while I can. I hope this video helped. Get out on these guys while you still can before the production dips. Smash that subscribe button. Please help us out as a small channel. Appreciate every single one of y'all. See you in the next one.